Hey, yo, what's up? Voice of the People's back. No, this is water right here. Make sure you guys are getting your water in. I just keep my water in a glass bottle, just in case you were wondering. But I received a comment on a previous video that I did, and one of the previous videos that I did was asking if the spending bill that Trump has passed, is that something that's helping all Americans? And this comment decided to, or not this comment, but this person decided to comment and say, well, it's not Trump's responsibility to help people, any people, when it comes to money and them spending beyond their needs. And we're gonna get right into the video. This is not what the video is about, but I just wanted to cover this really quick, and just stay with me here. But my response to you is, first question: in order for President Trump to get into office, what is needed in order for him to get into office? A vote, right? That's what the American people are supposed to do in order to elect a politician into office, right? So when you say that he's not responsible for the people of America, that's where you're wrong. Because the people of America are the ones to help him get into office. Does that make sense to you? So that's just one example, but I'm not going to take the rest of this video and time up from my other viewers. But I want you to understand that. Go back, rephrase your response, and actually watch the video, do research before you comment on my video that you have no clue as to what you're talking about. But let's go on. So the title of this video is Gen Z. Is the Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025, is it fair to you? Right? So Gen Z, you've had it tough so far, man. You guys have it tough, more tougher than any of the past decades that I can remember. I know that you guys are going through financial hardships. Jobs aren't as simple to get hired to as they once were. The society today can't really understand your creativity and your understanding as to not wanting to work for the man, right? And that I agree with you guys on. You know, keep doing what you're doing. But the Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025, what does that detail, right? So if you look that up, you'll notice that laying across the desk of Trump is that a potential bill could be passed on that. Is it passed now? No. But these things can happen, and they can happen fast. So basically, if you are a U.S. citizen and your mother or your father had came from a different country and they made it here and then they had you, that technically would make you a U.S. citizen because you were born on U.S. soil, if that makes sense. And that's been the amendment for as long as the 1700s is what I believe, to my knowledge. Now, the Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025 is going to be opposite of that and can completely change the lives of millions of people here in this country. Because now, if that were to be passed and it was to be that your parents weren't born here when they had you, then you, as a citizen, would have your citizenship revoked, because you, when it comes to the Birthright Citizenship Act, are not an actual citizen. So you guys get what I'm saying? So it's not, in my opinion, no, it's not fair to a Gen Z, right? Or to a late millennial. Because if you're born here on U.S. soil, you are a citizen. Now, who gives the right to someone that, to say that, oh, you're not a U.S. citizen because you're born here, because your mother or your father or your grandfather weren't born here in the U.S.? Who gives the right to be able to keep changing these systems, these narratives, right? Because then I could turn around and I could say, hey, Mr. Trump, your mother and your father was probably born here, more than likely in the East Coast in New York, right? But however, if you pass this Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025 and we backdate that, your great-grandfather, his father, more than likely wasn't born here on U.S. soil. So in context, you didn't say that the immediate father or the immediate mother. You said that if anybody wasn't born on this U.S. soil and gave birth, then that person is not a U.S. citizen. So then my question to you would be, would you deport yourself? Because last time I checked, through the different scholars of the 1700s, 1800s, they've all written in journals, documented that Africans were here first, Olmec natives were here first, and other native tribes were here first. Born here. You're probably wondering, well, how is that? You guys don't know anything about the king of Mali, Mansa Musa. Those guys had massive amount of gold, massive amount of money, sailing the seas from Africa, Nubia, Kemet to U.S., what is now U.S. soil. So technically, my question to you, would you have to deport yourself, not only yourself, your family? Because to your Birthright Citizenship Act, you're not following your own Citizenship Act. Because as Christopher Columbus said and journaled, Africans were here before we got here. So my thing is that every time you try to do something in this country, you try to grow, you try to contribute and be a builder of society, it's like they keep moving the goalposts further and further and further. This Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025, in my opinion, should not be a thing of current era. Because, like I said, it contradicts the people that are creating the Act of 2025. So I just thought that was fairly interesting. And when you do your research and you understand, you know, who you are, self-knowledge, and where you came from, where your people came from, what your culture is all about, and the things that man is doing is absolutely insane. And yes, Gen Z, I feel bad for you because you are in a tough spot right now when it comes to so many different situations here. But I am the voice of the people, and I will talk about these things, and I will pull the cards of people that are bullying the people of this country, because that's exactly what's going on. That's all I got for you guys. So if your thoughts align with my thoughts, like and subscribe. This is a small channel, but we plan on doing big things. And you know who it is. It's the voice of the people always. Peace.